Good evening. I haven't been before this board for quite some time. I'm here this evening to reinforce and to support my colleague and friend, Angelo Frazier, as he is here to encourage you to make a decision in regard to the Ten Commandments posting in classrooms. I trust that that there is a mind among you that education is not just limited to the disciplines of reading, writing, and arithmetic, but it also has to do with behavior. And I think that that particular area of behavior, especially in the way that our culture and our society exists today, is a mess. Things are happening every day. Things are happening right now. It seems as though we have no sense of law at all. We're getting ready to celebrate our 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. The writer of that is acknowledged, of course, as Thomas Jefferson. He wrote it very eloquently, very remarkably, in terms of his reasons for declaring the need for freedom and liberty for this nation. He makes reference to the laws of nature in that beginning and the nature that he has specifically as the God of nature. He also talks about the fact, and he changes the term for God in terms of looking at the Creator, that the Creator has given to us certain inalienable rights, that those rights are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Jefferson was also noted for writing a letter to the Danbury Baptists in Connecticut as it regarded a conflict between denominations in that state. He made a reference in one phrase to the separation of church and state. That sounds very good. Unfortunately, that phrase has been misunderstood, misused, and distorted to become an effort to somehow blame the establishment of a religion on any number of different things. I would suggest to you that even when we look at those areas that I read in an editorial of the Californian not too long ago, the stupidity of asking, which God are you talking about? I'll tell you what, if they don't know which God we're talking about, then they need to go back to school. They need to be re-educated. I have a long history in this country because of my descendancy. I descend from Richard Warren, one of the people that came over on the Mayflower, and is the 12th signer of the Mayflower Compact. I have a lot of these things greatly at heart. Looks like I'm out of time. I just want to say very quickly that I'm concerned that we, again, are misunderstanding the idea of separation of church and state and the Establishment Clause. I want to be sure that we're not doing what I think ACLU is trying to do and other organizations. That is not to understand the separation of church and state, but they're trying to project a separation of God and America.
Thank you,
I thank you for your attention.
Thank you.
I brought with me my historical significance of the Ten Commandments. It's pretty cool. It shows you where and how they're placed along with the other historical documents. Hopefully we will have these placed in schools. Been before this board for a while, and almost 2 years now. And a lot has happened since. When I first started this, there was, I think, one place in Louisiana that was talking about the Ten Commandments, and now it appears to be sweeping the country. So I love the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court, though in its history, has reversed its precedents somewhere between 145 and 232 times. In contrast, the supreme God's laws are considered unchanging because God is seen as unchanging. Yes, his laws do not change, only they can be fulfilled. Louisiana passed a law requiring the Ten Commandments to be displayed in public classrooms. Arkansas passed a law for the Ten Commandments to be to be displayed in public classrooms. Texas passed a law for the Ten Commandments to be displayed in classrooms. In one of the larger districts in Texas, Frisco ISD, the Ten Commandments, as of today, hangs in over 4,000 classrooms in Texas. In one of the districts, South Carolina House, the representative passed a bill requiring that public schools classrooms display the Ten Commandments. That bill passed 84 to 31. Missouri has an initiative in Senate Bill 594, which will require the Ten Commandments to be displayed in classrooms starting in 2026. The bill mandates that each district, school, and charter board display the commandments in every building. West Virginia legislature proposed a bill to require the Ten Commandments to be displayed. And so my question that I'd like to ask you, Kern County Board, is this. When will the vote be for the historical significance of the Ten Commandments take place? Whether are we waiting for the Supreme Court, we're waiting for that to play out, or there's some other event in the future that we're waiting for? I have worked hard and will continue to work hard. My reason I'm asking, people are asking me. And here in this board, I've come before this board numerous times. You've heard the arguments on both sides. The arguments are not going to change. So they're asking me what's going to happen. So I'm asking you, is there any date in the future where this is going to be dealt with? A vote, yes or no, you're going to go for it or you're not going to go for it. And then we can do other things. I appreciate your concern in this matter. I also pray that we continue looking at the issue of God's truth as it sweeps this country, because it does not change. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Harriet Tubman Day is observed annually on March 10th, the anniversary of her death in 1913, to honor the iconic American abolitionist, Underground Railroad conductor, and Civil War spy and scout. There's much more to say about her. Of course, many of you know about her, but I would hate to see that particular history, Black history, as well as women's history, lost and not mentioned at all in our schools. So I hope that continues. And there's one other thing I'd like to speak about, and that's about the revised Board Policy 9250. That's the one that deals with your pay. Is that correct? All right, I got the number right. I'm all for it. In fact, I was astounded, being a teacher at one time, that you only got paid $80. Of course, you do get insurance and all. But I was just astounded that that's all you got. And I really would like to see it raised even higher than what was proposed. And why is that? Because
You guys are cracking me up.
What was that? What was that?
You guys are cracking me up.
Well, I'm serious about this. And it's that your job is extremely important, as you know. That's why you're up there. I don't get paid to be here, but I feel I'm pretty important in order to be up here and coming down all the way from Kern River Valley in order to be here. But that pay also is something that other people that would like to run for board would be very much interested in. And at present, I see that there's possibly an entire board that can afford not to have be paid at all. In fact, there was one person, I believe, that even said, kind of like, can I not be paid? So I really think it's important that there be a higher pay for what it is that you do, because it is a worthy job. And that you would just get a stipend basically for it. And I'm not talking about an actual salary that's like $35,000 or something. I'm just saying that it's enough that many more people would be interested in this job, because they could use just a little bit more money to pay for our gas prices that are going up. Mm-hmm. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
I have some exciting news about parental rights in California on March 2nd. And I've been talking about this for years. Like, I think I first brought it up in 2022 when I got elected. Actually 23, I guess, after I got sworn in. But Anyway, it's the case called Marabelli v. Bonta, which is our Attorney General for California. The United States Supreme Court temporarily blocked California policies that allowed schools to keep a student's gender transition secret from parents, saying parents actually have the constitutional right to be informed. The case goes back to the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals. And I'll keep you posted on the outcome. In the meantime, as of now, California schools are now required to inform parents if their child requests to change their gender while at school. It's a huge win for parental rights. And then there's another bill in California, AB 1998, from Assembly Member Leticia Castillo. And she's drafted this bill to define sex in state civil rights laws as biological sex, removing the definition of gendered identity from the language, and to allow school bathrooms and locker rooms to be separated based on biological sex definition. So that is not being voted on yet, but that's on the floor to be discussed.
You know, Dr. Frazier comes and asks for when we're going to vote on a new proposal, but we actually have voted on that, and it may come up in the past again, and I don't mind revisiting it at some time, but I'm not sure we're going to do that at this time.
Lori, is the Supreme Court 6-3 on that? That's for AB 1955. So I thank them for that. They're protecting our parental rights and our teachers, keeping lines of communications open and trust. So yeah, I'm with you on that one too. So yeah, Bonta, I don't know what's wrong with that man. So I will be, yeah, I know. Okay, so I did get a hold of a turning point for Bakersfield College. So I was wondering if we can do that next month. Have them do like a 15-minute presentation.
Yeah, I'll get with Dr. Menabro and see if there's room
Okay.
on the agenda.
All righty. And then Helen, I would like to thank you for bringing up Miss Tupman. I've done a study on her. We had a lady one time do a little presentation at our church about her. So I did not know today was her day. So I would like to thank you for bringing that up. She is really an amazing lady. If anybody does any study on her, she helped a lot of people with the, getting across and coming in. And she did. She was an amazing lady. So thank you for bringing that up today. I appreciate that.
AB 1955, I was going to mention something about that because I was very, very happy to hear that too. But I was very happy to hear that that the Supreme Court did rule in that favor, in favor of that. Oh, here goes. What the heck? From Psalm number 1, Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in his law doth he meditate day and night. And he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, that bringeth forth his fruit in his season. His leaf also shall not wither, and whatsoever he doeth shall prosper. That doesn't sound like a vengeful God to me. The God that I've come to know is a gentle, loving, caring God. He'll rebuke you when you get out of line, but he is not an enemy of anybody except the evil. I don't believe that anybody that shows up here is evil, not one bit. I believe they all have some of the best intentions ever, and they're taking the opportunity to go ahead and speak their mind. That's another joyful thing about having a forum like this. I bring this up only because Dr. Frazier was in once again asking the board about when there was going to be a vote on whether or not we would put the Ten Commandments in the public area along with other historical documents in the schools. I don't know if people still look at that as a threat of some kind. We had Mr. Rudnick come up tonight and suggest that what we do is go ahead and put in the 613 rules in the first 5 books, right, of the Old Testament. 613
Within
rules.
Leviticus.
Yeah.
It's in Leviticus.
Yeah, it's that would be a bit. It would certainly be a learning experience for a lot of kids if they were to try and read through them. That'd be a lot of text to go ahead and work through. But I would suggest to a lot of folks who are opposed to the Ten Commandments and the other historical documents, take a look at them. I mean, really and truly consider them, and see what good you find in there. Because I think that a lot of people up here on this dais would agree with me that there's some good stuff in there, some really, really good things in there. I don't think the Ten Commandments are going to be going away. I think that they're here to stay. And I think that ultimately the disposition of them in our schools is going to prevail. And I believe it will be a good thing, and I believe that with all my heart. So, Mr. Marcano, we're going to talk about this again, I hope. I hope this isn't going to be stymied. I'm not calling you out or anything on it. But I know it's been something that's been talked about before, but I think it needs to be revisited. And I would certainly go ahead and welcome more of the robust conversation that people are wanting to have with this, and I would just ask them before they come in to object that they look at it objectively. Really take the time to go ahead and read it.
Since it's a fresh topic of Ten Commandments, it's important to note that Dr. Frazier brought up jurisdictions outside of California that passed these laws. Arkansas, Louisiana, Texas, West Virginia entertaining a bill. I don't mind bringing it up again when there's a change in our state law. And maybe there will be.